All right. This is sort of a first look through this new book, Gouache in 4 Easy Steps by Anna Koliadych, and I am excited to share it with you. I haven't really done any of the projects yet. We're going to do one during this quick little flip through and see how her instructions go. But isn't it pretty? It's nice, glossy pages, lots of projects. They are pretty simple. They are pretty basic, straightforward types of projects. And I'm kind of excited for that. I need to do a pretty little simple project. And maybe we will do the striking blackbird. I think that's what I'm going to do. So let's get started getting things prepped. Earth Day month, I am using some recycled cardboard to do my practice on. You don't have to have fancy paper to practice your paintings. So this is just some Swiss Miss Cocoa box, but cereal boxes, other types of packaging. And this piece here is a 5x5. This one taped down onto this scrap piece of Coroplast is a 5 inch by 7 inch piece. I am going to put a layer of some acrylic gouache. Now this doesn't reactivate and come back up through, and it will help to kind of seal the cardboard a little bit. Just get all that acrylic gouache rinsed out of my brush real well. So this book is set up 4 easy steps for each of the beginning paintings. She goes through, there's, the exercises and techniques, then going right into landscapes, stunning flowers, leaves and plants, cute patterns, birds, butterflies, bumblebees, and more, desserts, fruits and veggies, and super cute sundries. And then at the back of the book, she goes through some supplies and some extra tips and advice. That's pretty cool. I like that she pretty much jumps right in. Very beginning, she introduces herself. How to work with the book. This book is easy to work with. It includes the basics for better understanding gouache and chapters featuring projects with various themes. The nice thing about it is that as you're going through a book like this, the things that you learn at the beginning go right through and help you build each of the projects as you go along. I did get this book sent to me for review, so I'm hoping that if you have this book already, join me and do this fun little blackbird with me. If you don't have this book already, I'll have a link down below in the more information where you can purchase the book. So if you are interested in more about Anna Koliadych and her, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right, and her process and her artwork, please check her out. This is the blackbird, and nice, simple, basic bird. So, but there's flamingo and robins and swan. There we go, blackbird. I'm going with the blackbird because, one, very limited color palette. You've got black, a yellow, a dark blue, a burnt umber type brown, a pastel brown, which is just made from white and brown mixed together, and a pastel blue, which is the white and dark blue mixed together. Pastel brown is white, burnt umber, and yellow ochre. 3 parts white, 2 parts burnt umber, and 1 part yellow ochre. I like that she gives you recipes. That is really nice. And then the most difficult part of the project, drawing the bird, but really and truly, look at this. She even goes back to the same thing I did with my how to draw birds lessons. There's a iCard up here for my how to draw birds. the How to Draw Birds lesson where I said everything starts with an egg. Birds, all birds start with an egg. So there we go. So first part of the project here is we need to get our paint. I'm using the Himi gouache. And I am grabbing a palette knife. I'm going to get this kind of ultramarine blue, I think. I'm not sure. It looks kind of violet-y, so that blue. And wipe off my palette knife. Bit of black. This is a ceramic palette. Was that black or brown? No, that's black. Okay. Maybe was this my blue? Oh, there it is. I do have a Prussian blue, so I'm going to go with my Prussian blue. And I will just put it on the other side there, and I'm just going to scoop this one out and drop it back into the palette. There we go. Look at that. So we've got black, Prussian blue, we've got our dark brown. Probably don't need that much. Nice thing about it when you're pulling out the paint from a palette like this is that you can always go back and get more if you need it. I don't think I'm going to need hardly any yellow ochre, so I'm just going to put that right up here. And white. Do need my white. And I'm just going to drop my white. Yeah, right up here in this corner. Actually, I'm going to take and put a drop of white here. And leave some white over there. That's what I'm doing. All right. So now we've got our colors. I'm going to put the lid back on here. Around. There we go. And it snaps nice and tight shut. Cool. If I need more, I will get more. Easy. 3 steps for this beautiful illustration of a bird. So we're going to go step 1 and draw this. To draw this quick little blackbird, I am going to rotate slightly because it's better for my hand. She has a little branch that's coming down like this. She has the little bird attached at the little branch. I just gave myself 2 little marks so that I can kind of eyeball where his little paws or little claws are going to go. His tummy here. I think his tail is going to have to come up a little bit higher just because of the angle that I am doing him on. Remember, here's the egg right there. So that's the egg of the body. And then his head is up here. The back of his head comes into his body. There. I know that he wouldn't have that sharp of a bend, but you know what? He still ends up looking really cute. And his little beak. Give him more of a tummy. That'll be cute, right? Needs a little bit more back end. Maybe I'll have his tail go off the back edge. Then it doesn't have to have as much. Okay, We're just going to get this erased out just a little bit. Don't need all those internal lines, do we? And I'm going to have his tail going off the edge. Comes up and then goes and sort of fans out a little bit. There we go. All right. So I think we're looking at that going, yeah, that's good, isn't it? We are looking at, so step one, very easy step. Draw the bird on. Draw the bird's eye very simply. Remember that any object, even complicated ones, can be broken down into simpler shapes. You can simplify the blackbird into 2 ovals. Start there and then move ahead until you get to the final outline. Take a medium round brush with a thin tip and black gouache and fill in the body shape, except for the eye area. So, like that. Step 2, switch to a small round brush, paint in the beak and the legs. Let everything dry. Oh, beak, legs, and the feet. And then make sure everything's dry. And then use the layering technique to layer on some of the little highlights and details. That is easy, although I am going to go in and paint a background color. Now I have my little bird drawn on. I'm going to grab a small round brush, get it wet. This is just a number 5 round Artist Loft Fundamentals. It comes in a big pack of brushes. It has been around for a while. Paint is pulling off. No big deal, right? So I am just waking up that paint a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm not putting a lot of water into it. I probably have way more on there than I need to, but let's just get this little bird filled in. Click onto the cereal box front side, but then I would have had to do multiple layers because it has kind of a glossy, it has kind of that glossy cardboard type of side here, and I'm not sure. Yeah, the paint, the water-based paint kind of beads up on it. Sort of beads up a little bit. So I would always paint on the chipboard side. Just a little tip. And look at that. We're pretty much, the actual painting of this little bird is going to be so fast. Now, looking at that going, I think I need to take that up just a little bit farther. Out. And a little bit farther up underneath of his tail feather. This is a practice piece. Doesn't really have to be perfect. But it's fun to do things like this. It's fun to do practice bits. It's fun to explore I think it needs his little, where it looks kind of like his little shorts, his thigh covering up here. His leg will be joining into that, but it's really interesting. I've been away from doing my videos and, for a couple weeks. It's amazing how much you forget in just a couple weeks. There we go. And then there's a little bit of a bump down right here for the other one. There we are. Now, this gouache is doing a beautiful coating of paint right over that acrylic gouache background, sticking very nicely. No worries here. All right, I think that looks good. Then she says to, with a small round brush, paint in the beak in yellow. This is already a small round brush. I think we're okay with that. What do you think? You think we're okay with that? Because you know what? This goes to a decent point, and if it's working for me, should I change it? I don't think so. So we'll see if it's going to work for me. I'm putting a little, not that much water, putting a little bit of water into my yellow paint. This is just the straight yellow ochre from the box. I'm going to do that, bring it back into the face a little bit. See, his beak needs to be a little bit longer, and it needs to come back in here just a little. Give him a little bit of a split in his beak. That's pretty cool. I need to do a yellow dot here. And then there will be a black dot on the inside of it. I need to get my yellow paint loosened up a little bit more. It's just a little bit too thick. There we go. That'll be better. Ah, there. And I can go back and clean up the edge on his beak. Now, one of the things that you want to make sure is that the eye is right in line with the beak. I mean, really, that's the trickiest bit right there. Make sure the eye is in line with the beak. Now I'm going to grab some of this brown. I've got some yellow on my brush already. And I'm going to get a touch of that white. Whoops. Maybe I'll just do it right there. Haha. Just mix it right there at the edge. It's kind of a gray brown. Pastel brown. Finally, paint in simplified legs and feet of the bird in brown with the detail brush and let it dry. Well, actually, I am going to grab the dark brown and I'm going to put kind of a chunky branch, because I might put a little flower or something on here. There we go. Just sort of twirl my little brush along. Anna didn't have, much detail on it. This is a study about the bird, so I mean, really, it's not about the branch. The only thing you need to pay attention when you do a branch like that is don't have the branch compressed around, like where his claws go around it, his claws aren't squishing the branch. So it's not going to go thick branch and then go little branch and then go thick branch again. It's going to be the same thickness all the way across. There we go. And then I'm going to warm up that brown just a little bit. This mixture that we have right here, I just want to warm it up just a little bit. I'm just adding a little bit more of the yellow into it. You are the one in control of your artwork. You are the one in control of what you're doing. But having you know, a guide like this is so nice. I've not painted a blackbird like this. I've done blackbirds, and if you're interested in some of my other my bird videos, check that iCard up above there. I have how to draw birds, and then I've got painting a couple different kinds of birds on my channel. So check them out if you're interested. Simplified foot, kind of like 3 little lines going forward and then 1 little line going to the back. And I might have to take a little bit more of the darker brown. 3 little lines going forward and 1 line going back. A little bit of a shadow. My problem, or my issue is that I will go in and try and put way more detail than needs to be done. So now it needs to be completely dry before I can move on to the next step. So I'm going to dry it real quick. So now I'm going to grab a little drop of that Prussian blue, because what she says is use some of that Prussian blue for the pupil of the eye. I'm going to put a little bit more water onto that, because boy, that did not go down as smoothly as my intention was. There we go. So now we've got that. We're going to take some of the white and mix it in with that Prussian blue. First thing I'm going to do is give it just a little bit of a blue dot. It's a very light blue dot. More of a white dot on top of that. And I'm going to put a little bit underneath. Just makes his eyeball seem a little more glossy. Get some pastel blue. Whoops. I guess I need to add more white to it then. I grabbed a little extra blue there by accident. You know, I'm looking at his back and going, I want that to go up a little bit higher. Right up here. I don't want it to be quite so dropped down, because I want the top of his wing, or back edge of his wing, to kind of be bumping up. There we go. That's better. Maybe a little bit more right up here too. Ah, there we go. See, sometimes you just need that extra little line. Don't be afraid to put it in. And get those shiny blue highlights put on. So, looking at this, we've got sort of that front edge of his wing. And his wing comes back up here. And she's doing a very stylized, so I will do it very stylized also. Very stylized. Very doodly. I like that. I like that kind of doodle style. And then just sort of swinging back. That's fun. That is very fun. Front edge on that. And then we've got these lovely little dots. And you notice that the blue is, because the black is nice and dry, the blue is not picking up the black. Just like that. And then we're going to take a little bit of the brown and white. Okay. And then she has a little bit of the brown coming in along the edges. Kind of an outline. I think I'm going to drop a little bit of it actually onto the wings. Maybe onto some of the feathers. Just because that's what my brain wants it to do. And it's, you know, in the end, it's my own painting. So, right? I can do what I want. I can do what I want. It's my painting. You can do what you want. It's yours. This was actually very fun. Took me a little longer than I was, expecting to do. And that's just because I was being sort of slow on the uptake. I am going to do something kind of funny and weird, I think. I'm going to take that white. This is a number 8 Creative Mark Pro White. I'm going to make stripes going across. But I can call my own artwork interesting, right? All right, you know what? Ooh, maybe. I'm going to put a couple little leaves. Maybe another leaf that's kind of poking in. Some little highlights on things. If you have fun, that's what matters. Now, I am going to go like this. I think I want to put a couple little bits like that on his face there. I think he's going to get a little bit of some paint up here on his shoulders. Maybe a little highlight inside some of those feathers. Just because I'm having fun. All right, guys, let's pull the tape off of this and see what we got. And we're going to pull the tape off. And even when it is something that looks a little bit extra messy, as soon as you pull the tape off, look at that. Isn't it cute? I am really happy with how that turned out. I like the movement in the background. I like the this little cheeky blackbird. If you're interested in this book, it is Gouache in 4 Easy Steps, and by Anna Koliadych, author of the 15-minute watercolor masterpieces. And I would recommend this definitely for beginners who want to just get in there and start making artwork and having fun. Thank you guys so much. Remember to go out and do something creative. Take care of yourself so you can take care of those around you. I want to see you back here again really soon. Bye-bye.